You may not like me. You may find me annoying. You may find me a bit too much. You may find me insufferable. But if there's one thing you cannot deny, is that your boy knows how to beautifully display his plants. Oh, Jesus. There is no corner, there is no shelf, there is no balcony, there is no veranda, there is no cabinet that I cannot display and curate beautifully with plants. But I'm not making this video to brag and show off my plant styling skills. No, darlings, I'm making this video to help you. Because summer has officially ended and a lot of you girlies in the northern hemisphere will be bringing your plants indoors. And I know right now, this period, you are overwhelmed with how to style your plants. Trust me, styling a large collection of plants can really be tricky and complicated and can be overwhelming. You don't know where to start, which is why in today's video, I'm going to be exposing 6 crucial mistakes a lot of plant people make when displaying or styling their plants. Not only are we going to be exposing what these mistakes are, but I'm going to be giving you answers and solutions on how to better navigate them, all right? I want you to be able to style your plants beautifully, especially now that 2026 is around the corner. You can't keep having these hot mess, clustered looking plant collections. Not on my watch, okay? So without much ado, grab a cup of coffee, grab something, grab someone. You may need to also clutch your pearls for this one. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Okay, girls, the first mistake a lot of y'all are making is that you're simply just displaying your plants. That plant shelf, that plant corner, all you are doing is using it to display plants entirely. And I know you might be like, what else does he want me to display? I mean, this is a plant channel, babes. Just because you have a plant shelf doesn't necessarily mean you won't infuse other decor knickknacks to your display. This is the mistake a lot of the girlies are making. That plant shelf, that IKEA cabinet. What we plant people tend to do is that we just fill it to the brim entirely with plants. I have a question to ask you. Is it your house or is it a plant store? That house you're living in, is it a house or is it a plant store? Girlies, it is your house. So you need to infuse and curate some charm, character, and personality in your plant displays. Darlings, pair your plants with a portrait. Put the occasional knickknacks. Look at what I did here. And that generally is the rule of thumb for me. I tell these plants, the moment you're coming to my house, you're going to be displayed and paired together with other decorative ornaments and knickknacks. Because the goal is to have a pleasant looking display and arrangement. Throw in a lamp. How about that? Throw in a cute portrait. How about that? Infuse some trinket, infuse some personality in that plant shelf. Throw in the occasional book. Oh, Jesus. That way, it doesn't just look like a complete and bland looking display of plants. So stop seeing that plant shelf, that plant cabinet, that plant corner as a space for you to just keep plants. Instead, see it as a display shelf. So you're going to predominantly place your plants there, but you're also going to incorporate the occasional ornamental knickknacks there, the tricolants, your little charms and whatnot in those corners, so you have a pleasantly looking space that doesn't look like a plant store across the street. I told you we're going to need to clutch your pearls for this one because I'm not going to be taking it easy on you guys. We need to learn these things. The year is almost over. Now, this next one is a bit of a toughie. It's a bit of a conundrum, right? But we have to talk about it. All your plants are facing the window. Yeah, I know at the end of the day, it's always best, especially when your plants are right next to a window. You want them to be facing the window, not necessarily facing you. But the problem is when every single plant on that shelf, every single plant on that table is facing the window, it doesn't give you a pleasant view. All you're seeing are these pots, moss balls. Oh my goodness, it's not a pleasant sight to behold, and I can honestly kill the vibe of your collection, which is something I'm always conscious of. So what I like to do, and what I'm going to advise you to as well, is that you need to incorporate plants that have a 360 view. Okay, you need to incorporate the occasional plant that even if the plant is facing the window, you can also see parts of its leaf facing you as well. And a perfect example of one such plant is a snake plant. You can't talk about plant styling without talking about snake plant, because not only is it a plant that will give you that 360 view, you're not looking at a multiple, you're not looking at a pot while staring at that plant, but it's also one that doesn't get leggy, right? It's not one that will stretch and turn around and give you that 360 180 spin because it wants to face towards the light. You need to incorporate plants like that while they're facing the window, you can still have a pleasant view and you're not just seeing the back of their leaves. You need to infuse those sort of plants occasionally, especially with plants that are facing or near a window. Okay? Is that understood? Please let me know if you need me to clarify anything. We'll talk about it in the comment section. Let's move over to the next point because we don't have all day here, okay? Oh, Jesus. This one is a serious one and we need to talk about it, babes. A major mistake a lot of people make, especially those that lean towards collecting plants, collecting the collectibles, the rarities. The mistake that they tend to make is that their plant collection starts to look the same. Okay, if you're the type of person that you like to collect Hoyas, you like to collect anthuriums, I'm not judging you, all good and dandy, but it can be quite tricky to style because then your entire display, your entire shelf starts to look the same. And one thing I've come to realize is that it's a bit of a tough feat to actually style and display plants that are all in the same genus, because oftentimes they all have the same growth profile, the same growth habit. So they may not add the height proportions, the dimensions, the variations. So your collection can start to look very homogeneous and bland. Which is why, darlings, I keep saying over and over again, and I'm going to keep reiterating it. It is very, very important to incorporate decorative plants to your space and to your collection. You need to distinguish between plants that are collectibles, the rarities you're actively collecting and growing them, versus plants that you bring into your space to decorate your space specifically. Think of it in the way that your grandmother or your mother will bring in the occasional cut flower, to sprinkle around the bathroom and to sprinkle around your home, just, to make it look lively. That is how you need to go about incorporating these decorative plants in your collection. You're not buying them because they are the rarest or the most prized. You're just adding them to break and to soften corners, to infuse color, to add interest, to add volume to that rare plant collection. So it doesn't look the same, it doesn't look homogeneous, it doesn't look bland, it doesn't look repetitive. Do you get what I mean? So heck, that calathea, that maranta that goes for $10 and it's only going to last you maybe 1 month, buy it and add it to that anthurium collection. Add it, infuse it. That your collection goes from looking like a specialty plant store to something that looks, a bit more pleasing to the eye. Something that looks a bit more interesting. Are you feeling me? Or do I just sound like a rare plant hater? Please let me know in the comments. I appreciate your opinions. Just keep them cute, respectful, and demure. But yeah, do you get what I mean? Sound off in the comments, okay? By the way, if you're feeling the content and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, and share all that good stuff. And don't forget to check out my membership for more of my behind the scenes shenanigans. Trust me, I think it's the best membership on YouTube. Like, low-key. For real. Okay, so now we need to talk about pots. Pots can honestly make or break your collection. They can have your collection looking really bland and sterile, or they can have them looking like a hot, uncoordinated mess. And there are two mistakes that plant people generally do when it comes to selecting the right pots. The first thing that they do is that they tend to go all white, or especially this all white movement that started during the Panini era. For those of you who don't know what Panini is, I mean the pandemic 2020 2021, when white pots and the white background had us on a chokehold. There are some people that still live in that era. All their pots are all white. Everything is white. Now the problem with that is that it just feels very clinical. It feels very sterile. It gives off like tissue culture lab facility. Remember, it is a house you're curating. It's the house plants that are coming into your house, so they should make your house feel like a home as opposed to feeling like a collection. No shade, but some of you, I see your plant room tours and I'm like, it's giving plant store. Cute plants, but everything is giving plant store. They lack personality and they look bland, okay? Now, I'm not saying you should go to the other end of the extreme, right? Jesus, I thought that was a rat. That was just my pen that fell down. This veranda, like, rats love it, so I'm always on the lookout when I'm filming. Jesus. Anyways, yes, I'm not saying you should go to the other end of the extreme and incorporate colorful pots, extremely colorful pots. Oh Jesus, which is the next thing that's some. I've been there before because clearly I love color. So I figured that, okay, I'm gonna make my plant pots very colorful. I'm gonna get the pink pots, the most pink pot, the most lemon lime pot. Oh Jesus. The problem with that is that it ends up taking too much attraction away from the plants. So instead of your eye to focus on the plants and the display of the plant, it's focusing instead on the pots. It's too in your face, grabs too much of the attention, and can honestly clash with some of the decor of your space and your plants. Okay, so what's the sweet spot? The sweet spot, darlings, is neutral plant pots and colors. Neutral and organic looking plant pots and colors. Browns, darlings, you can never go wrong with a brown pot. That is why a lot of plastic pots are brown, because it just complements the green. It's the color of soil, so your brain meshes with it a lot more. You could also do like a slight off-white. How about that? Like a cream, an ash, if you will, a cement color, beige, a bit of woody. Those tones generally tend to work best with plants, and they're a bit more softer as opposed to all white that can be very clinical and anemic, and then very loud, vibrant colors. So that sweet spot, let's maintain that sweet spot so that we can have, a pleasing plant collection, a well-styled and pleasing plant collection. As usual, I'm curious to know your thoughts. If you're an all-white pot girly, because I know some of you love your all-white pots, please, I need an explanation. I need an essay, a thesis as to why those white pots have you in a chokehold and why you refuse to let them go. Let me know in the comment sections, please. Please. Now, this next one is another mistake a lot of well-meaning plant people can make, all right? And you can't really blame us because almost 90% of the materials we use in this hobby is made up of this. I'm talking about plastic. If there is so much plastic being displayed in your collection prominently, honey, oh God, that collection is never gonna look stylish. And that's the thing about plastic, whether it is on a plant shelf or wherever you're decorating or styling. Anything that is made of plastic or is obviously plastic will definitely cheapen the look of that space. That's the tea, girl, because plastic is mass produced, is synthetic looking, and is very cheap to make. So you can never display plastic in a way that looks nice. Guys, please, those fertilizer containers, those plastic see-through pots and those plastic see-through moss bowls, they're very helpful. I use them, but let's find creative ways to hide them. That plastic see-through pot that looks like takeaway, $1 soup takeaway from, I don't know, I'm guessing Taco Bell, wherever. How about you put it inside a cute decorative pot? When it comes to the plants outdoors, honestly, I don't care. I can display those plastic pots any way I want. But remember, it's your home. It's your home, baby girl. It's your house. You want it to look curated. You want it to look beautiful. So yes, those plastic pots, see-through pots, amazing. I love them. I use them, but let's hide them. How about that plastic trellis? This video is reminding me of a plastic trellis I have in my plant room. I'm gonna get rid of it right now. That plastic trellis, I know it's helpful, but you either put a fast-growing vining plant that will cover it up on it, or you get rid of it, babes. Those extension cords, those wires, oh my goodness gracious, girlies. If you want to have a nice looking plant collection, find creative ways to hide them. You can buy one of those things, I think, on Temu, on AliExpress for like $10. Those extension boxes, hide them. Those plastic grow lights, I know there's no avoiding hiding anything that is made of plastic, and any and everything made of plastic. It's ubiquitous, but put in the effort, darlings. Put in the effort and don't get comfortable displaying something that is made of plastic so prominently in any space, whether it's your plant space or your non-plant space. Put in the effort to stylishly hide anything made of plastic, so your space doesn't look cheap. Thank you. Babes, I told you this wasn't going to be easy, but oh, Jesus. Again, it was my notepad that almost fell down, but I was scared it was a rat. The rats we have in this country are huge. I don't know if that's the case for your where you're watching, but the rats in this country are huge and they are very bold. So I'm always on the lookout for them when I'm in this forest. But anyways, I told you guys this wasn't gonna be an easy video, but sometimes tough love is needed. Because the year is about to end and I don't want you to have a plant collection that looks like a hot mess. I won't allow it as your plant bestie. We have one more point, and this one is something that I had to include because I've come to realize it's not my imagination. It's not my imagination. The plant girlies aren't just conscious of this, especially in their plant spaces, their plant rooms. Babes, I'm talking about bad lighting. Bad lighting, specifically artificial lighting. Girlies, what is with these harsh overhead lights in our plant collections? What is with this harsh overhead white lights in our plant collections, in our plant rooms? Each time I see the girlies tour their plant rooms and their plant collection, I'm like, I don't see a side lamp that emits beautiful warm yellow light. I don't see pendant paper lights that emits beautiful soft warm light. All I'm seeing is this harsh white light. I don't know whether that's the case because they are filming for YouTube. I'm hoping that is the case, but I doubt it. Girlies, your plant room, infuse some warm, cozy mood light in there. Get a hanging lamp or a hanging pendant lamp. Put in a couple of side lamps there and there. Add the occasional string light. Oh my goodness, this all white harsh lighting that comes from one source. Oh, Jesus, is making your plant room, your plant space, your plant collection look like a plant store. It's giving tissue culture lab center. It's giving biotech center. It's not giving home. Remember, it's your home you're curating. It's not just a space where you don't plant. It's your house. I want it to start feeling like a home, okay? That plant corner, that plant room. Be conscious of the lights that you use, the artificial light that you use. Infuse more lamps, more side lamps. I personally am not a fan of big overhead light. No, if it's not a hanging pendant light, I'm not putting it on the big lights, right? I also do that for my plant room. My plant room is, the lighting there is cozy. I have my string lights. I have a couple of lamps. I have a glowing globe. Oh, Jesus. Girlies, let's do better, all right? So my loves, we have come to the end of this video, but I'm really curious to know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Or am I just being a hater? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. At the end of the day, I want us to have a beautifully styled and curated plant collection. I don't want your home to look like a plant store. I want it to look like a beautiful spot, a beautiful home. And I hope these points were helpful, but let me know your thoughts down below, and I'm going to see you in the comment section, and I'm also going to see you in the next video. Till then, bye my loves. Okay, let's swing this back.